Bryce Cherry, Waco Trib. Ketron, last play, I mean, how did you kind of see that, and did you feel like there was excessive contact there?
I can't really speak on that. I just had to make a play on the wall, pretty much. I just put that on myself.
Ketron, I guess talk about the first half offense. Sawyer seemed like he got it going there pretty good, and even start the second half. You guys got up 13-3. Just talk about the way the offense moved the ball.
We moved the ball really well. We came out with a lot more energy and edge, like Coach Aranda says, and I felt that energy. You know, you felt the energy in the first half. That's what led us, like the energy, our O-line getting pushed off the ball, we running off the ball, our running backs running hard, falling forward. It pretty much sums it up.
You had a couple deep catches there. Is that something that you wanted to exploit more? Is that something was that in the game plan? And
yeah, we just wanted to attack the DBs, and yeah, I feel like I should exploit that more. And it's a lot. That's something that me and Sawyer have been working on at practice a lot, and at practice everybody been doing it. So it just showed up in today's game.
What was just kind of the message from Coach Aranda in the locker room? Obviously, this was a game today that was right there for the taking for y'all, and it got away. I mean, what was just kind of the message?
We got to finish and we got to execute. It's a lot of stuff that on offense, I say, we didn't execute, and a lot of things on defense that we didn't execute. We brought out the energy, we brought out the edge. That's basically what he said. We just got to execute and finish the game.
Ketron, for you, what changed, you think, in that second half, especially after that drive where you guys opened up and got a field goal where Utah seemed to shut you guys down a little bit offensively?
You said what changed?
Yeah, from your perspective, what changed on that side of the ball that allowed Utah to have so much success against you guys?
I think we didn't come out with as much energy as we had in the first half, I would say, pretty much. And then we didn't execute at all. Like, we wasn't really executing. We was killing ourselves, shooting ourselves in the foot, false starting and stuff like that, and we can't win like that.
Bryce Cherry, Waco Trib. Kyler, overall defense today, you know, I felt like y'all played well enough to win. I mean, just how disheartening is that when the game is right there for the taking?
Yes, sir. It's just brutal. Just all the work that we put in all week, you know. And, I mean, I feel like we came out and we played a pretty good game. There are definitely some things that we got to get fixed from an execution standpoint. But, yeah, it's just brutal. It's the most brutal part of this game.
Kyler, maybe it's hard to reflect, obviously, with the pain of the loss, but what was that moment like for you to get that interception, your first turnover at the college level?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It's kind of a dream come true, but really at the end of the day, it's hard to look past the loss, if I'm being honest. Just all the work that my team put in this entire week, all of us coming together and just falling short, just a little short. It's just brutal, just brutal.
You talk about all the work you put in through this week. What were y'all saying to each other on the defense, especially the front seven, that allowed y'all to have a better effort tonight than versus Texas State?
Our goal going into this game was just to play way more physical than we did last week, to show up ready to play and ready to beat the guy across from us. And so I think we definitely took a step up in that aspect from last week, but there's definitely a lot more ladder to climb.
Andrew Miner, we were going to win. The second to last drive for Utah, where they took 8 minutes off the clock and then scored. What kind of changed for Utah where they were able to have some success there, that final drive of theirs?
I think it was a little more of mistakes on our part. Kind of maybe getting a little tired, making minimal mistakes that gave them openings to get some movement on us. But yeah, I don't think they necessarily changed much. I think we didn't execute at the end of the day.
Was it hard out there with the conditions like they were? I mean, it's hot, you know, and you guys were on the field a lot.
Yes, sir. not gonna lie to you, we worked out in it all summer, prepping for stuff like this, and so I feel like we were somewhat prepared for this going into it. You know, I mean, we practice outside, we practice in it all week, and so. But yeah, I don't think that really had a ton to do with it.
So losing a second game at home, can you talk about what the energy is like in the locker room?
It's really disheartening. It's really, like I said before, it's just brutal. I know from a team standpoint, I think we're gonna come even closer together because of this, just like we did this last week. But really, just the goal to keep moving forward. We still got there's a lot of football left this season, so just looking ahead, ready to get the ball rolling again.
Kyler, what was the difference between 16 when he was in there, 13 when he was in on that long drive? How different is their offense with Nate Johnson in there?
Yeah, with Nate Johnson, they're definitely a little more. He's definitely a running. They're not scared to run him, and so you kind of expect more quarterback run kind of stuff, quarterback counter. And so we knew that going into this game, if they were going to play two quarterbacks, that they were a little different. But I feel confident that Coach Powell was putting us in good situations to be successful, and we just, at the end of the day, we didn't execute when we needed to.
Y'all had a lot more success this week getting into the backfield, rushing and passing plays. What changed from last week against Texas State? Was that more schematic or more like just their offensive line?
I think it was just more of a mentality thing for us, honestly, in the box. I mean, like I said before, we were going into this game planning to be more physical, way more physical than we were last week. And so I think that's a really big part of it. Thank y'all.
It's good to see everybody. Just disappointed with the outcome. Proud of the effort. You look at just the start of the game and just the energy and the edge that was displayed in the game is really what we want and what we really work towards. We talk about energy, edge, and execution. And I thought the energy part, we had it. I thought we started fast. I thought we were playing with a chip on our shoulder, and we were playing confident, and we were playing to win. I thought the execution, even in the first half, was spotty. There was 2 steps forward, there was 1 step back. But I thought the crowd and just the whole thing, probably the heat too, I thought was an aid to try to kind of cover up some of our inefficiency with execution. I thought in the second half, the lack of execution was exposed, and so it's hard to win, and I think our team is learning how to, and I think we have the makings of a great team. I believe that 100%, and I'm proud of just the work and just the sacrifice and the effort, but it's not enough. And you look at the end of the game defensively, and you look at offensively, a false start penalty after a week of false starts, after a whole thing of not to false start in a position to try to go win the game is just unacceptable. And so that's where it's at, and we'll work to fix it. I think the challenge is to stay together and to go through the loss, working on just the improvement and kind of what this can be, and to learn and grow and to reach a higher level and to finish a game, And so that's the challenge. Any questions you guys got?
Coach, in terms of execution offensively, in that fourth quarter, when it felt like maybe a couple first downs might kill the game off, do you feel like y'all were aggressive enough in that play calling, or do you feel like it was a little bit of playing not to lose?
No, appreciate that. I thought, in the second half there was a run that Sawyer had, and it was a pull. It should have been a give, and was tackled and rolled his ankle. And I think he was playing through that, and wasn't really the same from that point. And so I thought it was trying to judge kind of what's capable, how much can we run them, protection-wise, can we hold up? So I think it was trying to balance those things. I think now, looking back, there's probably some things you'd want to change, but I thought in the moment, we're trying to win the game, and we're trying to be able to take advantage of the looks that we were getting.
Dave, Kyler described this one as brutal because it was right there for the taking, and y'all let it get away. You mentioned the challenge is to stay together. Can you recover from this?
I believe so. I appreciate the question. Yeah, I think, that's kind of the path that's ahead of us. And, I think of just the winter, the spring, the summer, and just all the kind of coming together and all the work. It just turns out it's for something like this, And we always kind of talk about how you have to go down before you go up, and it's easier to talk about than to go through it. But that's where we're at, and I just feel like the character of the coaches and our players, and just the integrity of it all, for sure is going to be tested because it's tough, and you're inviting a bunch of probably a bunch of hate, but we've got the makings of a good team, and we'll continue to work and get better.
What did you see from Sawyer in his first start, and then that last pick? What was he? Was he just trying to do too much there?
He was, yeah. Appreciate that. I thought, he started off strong, and he started off with confidence, and he started off adjusting protection. He was seeing looks. He would make a left call into a right call. If a young running back was on the wrong side, he got him to the right side. He was quarterbacking the thing and running the show. And I thought, as the game went on, and probably as it got tighter and as the injury got worse, I thought there was a struggle, which is a part of all of it, And I think for him, he's only going to get better because of it. But I thought he was pressing at the end. He wasn't the only one.
Coach, there were multiple times where the offense was getting going. They would get into the red zone, but multiple penalties would stall those drives.
Yeah.
Can you talk about how much that killed y'all's momentum offensively?
Yeah, I believe that 100%. I appreciate you bringing that up. You can't win doing that, and you cannot. And that's the problem right there. That leads to the execution part. And for the emphasis on it, and we're going to have to emphasize it in a different way, apparently, to be able to get that fixed, because that's what's holding us back right now.
Dave, I know that was part of the emphasis. Did the defense just play a lot more physical today than they did last week, particularly first half, I would say?
No, appreciate that. Yeah, I thought, there's a couple things that work for last week, but I think for this week, the mindset was what it should be. I thought that, they were able to attack things. They were able to get out of their own way. And I think that, that's just a glimpse maybe of what the defense can be. There's a whole lot that we can improve, especially down the stretch there. But I'm proud of just their prep and their effort and all of it, because it was, it was ugly last week. And so to come back and fight and do all of it is a good sign. We've got to be able to stay together and take that next step and finish a game.
Dave, I'll phrase it this way to maybe keep you out of trouble. But the last pass of the game, the jump ball to Ketron, what did you see on that play?
No, appreciate that. Yeah, what an ending to come down to that 1 second. I thought when the refs were telling me, hey, there's 1 second left on the clock, it was almost like a wink in their eye or a smile, because I think they enjoyed just the game, and so it's hard for me to enjoy it though. So, yeah, I think to have that type of moment and to be on that stage is kind of what you want. You want to be able to close it out though. Thank you guys. Appreciate y'all.